See if I'm live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry, I'm late. Lost track of time, but I'm here's. Okay, so hello, 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 Mosaic Souls. Hey, Mosaic Souls, this is Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, aka spiritual life, wellness, and business coach here at Divine Earth School. And today I wanted to talk about the transformative power of creativity and why you should or shouldn't. Shoulds is very harsh word, but why you can start incorporating more creativity into your day-to-day life. Let me check and make sure that all audio is going well. Let me make sure. Don't you know human too?
Smooth running business, that's the goal.
Okay. Cool. Let me see. Okay, we're live. Just making sure that my audio is coming through. So let's talk about the transformative power of creativity and nurturing the soul through the performing and fine arts. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is a lot of times on our spiritual journey, there's so many different spiritual pathways or spiritual tools that you can utilize to awaken to your divinity, right? But one of the ways that has really helped me along my journey is the arts and creativity. And so I wanted to bring this topic to light because a lot of times, we're looking towards certain rituals that definitely help open up, our third eye, help us reawaken to who we truly are and all that good stuff. But a lot of times we don't talk about the power of creativity and utilizing that muscle to not only heal our past traumas and heal wounds and emotional healing and all that stuff, but also open up us to spirit and open us to the divine, open us to our soul and our higher selves, right? So that's really why I wanted to bring this topic to discussion and just chat about it. And so I'm going to share with you, let me see, I wrote it on my phone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 major points that I'm going to talk about as to why you can start incorporating more creativity and the power of creativity and the arts in your spiritual journey and also in your just personal fulfillment, right? So in the tapestry of our human experience, creativity really stands as a vibrant thread through that weaves its way through the fabric of our existence. Beyond mere artistic expression, engaging in the performing and fine arts becomes a profound and vital part of our journey, and one that not only enriches our external world, but also nourishes our spiritual core. So in today's exploration, I really want to dive into the pivotal role that the arts and creativity, welcome, what's up? What's up, Dreamwise? Peace, how are you? Good to see you. We should definitely reconnect at some point. But yeah, so I really want to talk about the power of the creativity and the arts to move you along on your spiritual journey and move you along in your life, really. And I can speak from personal experience because I'm an artist. As you always notice, I always start out my video saying I'm an artist and Mosaic Soul mentor. Created that whole moniker, right? That's a whole creation of my own, right? So the idea of creativity and how that really plays a role. So the first thing to consider is when you are embarking on your spiritual journey, yes, utilize spiritual tools. Yes, utilize other rituals to awaken you. Sorry, my computer does this alert thing. Utilize other tools to awaken you, but one of the things I want to encourage you to start doing is utilizing creativity, right? And creativity doesn't necessarily need to be like you need to become Mozart or you need to become Beyonce or you need to become some famous person off of your creativity. Just doing creative exercises and creative activities opens you up to spirit, right? So many times, like I was just talking to a good friend of mine earlier today, and I was like, he's like, oh, Rachel, you be just dropping some bombs and stuff. And he was like, how do you be knowing how is half the stuff you know? It's like, I've been creative since I was little, but not only am I tuned into my intuition, but a lot of times I receive divine downloads through like my creative pursuits. So if I'm like writing a song or I'm just listening to music, or a lot of times my divine team or my higher self will like send me like messages through different creative endeavors that I'm embarking on. I'll get a vision or I'll hear something or like smell a certain smell or just get this sort of impulse to do something that I wouldn't have otherwise if I wasn't engaged in my creative pursuits, right? So utilizing creativity is a way that you can start tapping into your spiritual self. So one, the creativity is not only fun, right? Like that's the obvious thing, right? Being creative is fun, but it also opens you up to source and spirit, because you're no longer, a lot of times when you're tapped into like source and you're tapped into the present moment, creativity anchors you down into this now moment, and you can tap into your higher self and receive messages, receive healing, receive so much through just actively pursuing or engaging in creative exercises. If you've ever done, one of the things I used to do, I think like back in 2016, I had started getting into like abstract art. And sometimes I would just pick up a canvas and then just start painting just random stuff. And I would be receiving downloads like as I'm painting the canvas. I've never really done abstract art prior to that, right? As I'm painting the canvas, I'm receiving like downloads around certain things. And then like sometimes I would share it with other friends and stuff. And they'd be like, you know what? That really reminds me of the cosmic web that we're all, it'd just be like different messages that's coming through the art that I'm not even consciously trying to do. I'm just like making circles or doing all kinds of random stuff. But then as I'm looking at the art, I'm like, okay, this is some symbolism that my higher self is like sending through me through the paintbrush, right? So there's like, art is not the only, like physical art isn't the only way you can be creative. There's so many ways that you can be creative. Getting in the kitchen, making some food, getting out in your garden, planting gardens and basically creating something from nothing is the act of creation, right? Is the act of being creative, right? So that's really why I wanted to bring it. And I also wanted to talk about the importance of why creativity is so important. And one of the main reasons why it's super important is because if you're joining me live, feel free to say hi in the chat. But one of the reasons why it's super important is because it creates healing. And I know a lot of artists, if you're an artist or you have a creative streak, they feel like what they do, like I was watching another sister on another channel, she's a artist or whatever, and she was like, I don't know if what I do actually makes a difference. And I was like, of course it makes a difference. Like if you're creative or if you have that creative streak and you just want to put your creativity out in the world, or you just want to do it for yourself, there's so much power in healing and creativity. Like what people don't recognize is that art heals, music heals, right? Like acting heals, like movies heal, like when the right kinds, right? Like you can always utilize the actual entity and turn it into something not so good. But for the most part, the type of art that I'm talking about, the type of creativity I'm talking about is tapping into that healing power, right? Peace, peace, peace. What's up? Welcome, Michael. So that's the power of like tapping into your higher self and tapping into that creative streak. So the first thing is awakening the spirit through expression. So creativity in its various forms, serves as a channel for the expression of your divine soul, right? So whether it's dancing, painting, acting, getting in the kitchen, making some food, playing an instrument, like different artistic endeavors allows you as an individual to really tap into the depths of your emotions and taps into communicating with your higher self and communicating with next steps that you can utilize. You can actually utilize creativity to get divine downloads, like I like to call them, into what you can do next, especially when you're looking for more insights as to next steps in your life, right? Let's say you're feeling blocked around something, like let's say you're feeling blocked around relationships or you're feeling blocked around your health. Doing something creative can actually open you up and open up your intuitive faculties to give you insights, right? I'm trying to think of just yesterday, an example, right? I was battling and working through some stuff in regards to healing a past trauma and a past lower like energy chakra energy and my higher self and my divine team started sending me this song that NDIRE, the heart of the matter, and it kept playing that like same verse. I've been trying to get down to the heart of the matter, and it kept playing over and over. And I was like, okay, what I'm grokking from this higher self is that you trying to get me to learn the lesson of forgiveness, right, in this situation, because I was going through some stuff and I was just trying to work through a lot of like internal stuff that was kind of weighing on my heart and weighing on my mind. And I was like, what am I supposed to grok from this, right? And just by like that, entire like that message, yeah, I'm glad, right? It makes sense, right? Like I be getting all kinds of downloads in so many ways, right? So like the song just kept playing over it. And even this morning, I was waking up and I was like, okay, higher self, I get it. I'm still learning. It's still in that lesson. I'm still like integrating into my own being. But like when I asked the question to my higher self, like, what am I supposed to be grokking from this situation, this challenging event in this life situation that I'm creating, right? That I've created. What is this here to teach me? And hearing that message from that one line in the song, I'm like, okay, I got it, right? And but it didn't send me like a message through, which is still like, there's so many different ways. Like it could have been like sending me a butterfly or sending me a deer or sending me like, an ad on a commercial or a TV or something. It could have been different ways. There's so many different ways that your higher self can speak to you. But my divine team my higher self knows that I'm a creative being. So it sent it to me in the form of a song, right? So that's just like one example, right? So the second point I wanted to talk about is connecting with the divine, right? So the creation process like often leads individual. If you see me looking down, I wrote all this stuff on my phone. So the creation process often leads us as individuals to moments of profound connection, be it like with the divine, our higher selves, our higher consciousness. So artists in the pursuit of our craft, right? We find ourselves immersed in a flow state where inspiration seems to channel through us. And in these moments, creativity becomes a sacred communion and a pathway to connect with something greater than ourselves, right? So tapping into our creativity and utilizing creative activities, whether that's drawing, painting, just creativity in general, that opens you up to source, right? Because you're no longer tapping into sort of the monkey mind, you're bypassing the mental faculties a lot of times, and you're tapping into intuition, the intuitive faculty, that part of us that's the super consciousness. That's what I like to think of it. Like, you have the subconscious, the conscious, and I think of the super conscious as an extension of our subconscious minds, right? So the subconscious or super conscious is our part, like our intuitive faculties. And so when you're tapping into your creativity, a lot of times you're opening up that door, and your higher self can send you messages through different symbols, through different ways and modes of creativity, right? And so the third piece is like cultivating mindfulness and presence, right? So one of the benefits of creativity is that it helps you to cultivate this sense of peace, this sense of present moment awareness and presence in your day-to-day life. And so engaging in the arts demands a deep level of mindfulness and presence, whether it's the stroke of a brush on a canvas or the resonance of a note as you're playing an instrument or, singing. These acts require individuals to be fully present in the moment. So this cultivation of mindfulness becomes a spiritual practice, right? Being creative is a spiritual practice, right? And grounding these individual activities in the here and now allows us to foster a sense of inner peace and tranquility. One of the things that really resonates with me and that people know me as just this very peaceful being. Like a lot of my family members or friends, when they get around me, they're always like, Rachael, you're just so chill. I just love your energy. You're just so vibe. And I think a lot of that just comes with not only just meditating a lot and doing yoga and all that stuff, but a lot of it comes from me tapping into my creative faculties. When I'm like creating or writing a song or producing a song, or I'm like drawing and sketching, or I'm out in nature, like taking pictures and stuff, there's this like deep sense of presence that I tap into, right? And it like helps me elevate. I don't know how to explain it. It's like this visceral sense of just like divinity, right? Tapping into your creative faculties helps you to tap into your higher self and embody more of your true self. And so it's like this fun, like not only creative expression, but it's this fun, like dance that happens between you and your higher self, right? And so not only am I, becoming one with my higher self, but it's in my human existence, it creates this heightened level of peace and serenity that allows me to traverse life experiences with way more like calm and ease. So even when crap happens, right, or like shit shows up. That's just the life of this duality game, right? We all experience the different varying levels of this roller coaster called life on planet Earth. When that shit happens, it's like, oh, okay, I just start seeing things from a higher perspective. And so it can open you up to higher perspectives because you're no longer looking at things from just the human lens. You start looking at things from the soul lens, from like, what am I grokking from this? And you can receive downloads to expand you into higher and higher states. And that's just never ending until you die, really. So that's really that whole thing, right? And then the last piece I want to talk about is that it helps you to transcend your ego and foster a sense of humility. So being creative, right? The creative journey is often marked by like moments. Right. That's dope. Like, it's funny because I wrote in my journal literally yesterday, Michael, about, I wanted to write a song about forgiveness, right? And I'm going to be challenging myself in my own personal journey just to start writing more about certain things that I'm journeying through. I've always done that in general, but like, challenging myself to write more because I've received songs all the time. Literally every week I'm writing 1 to 2 to 3 or more songs. And so sometimes utilizing like what I'm traversing through allows me to like not only like act as a form of catharsis, right? Of like healing that energy, bringing it up, even dancing. Like one of the things I love doing is dancing around my house, like especially like if I have trapped energy. And a lot of times when I'm traversing something in my own life, I'll feel like trapped energy in my chest. It's always in my heart chakra for some reason. Like other people experience in their back, their neck, and all this other stuff. For me, it always like sits in my chest. And so when I start like moving and like, you know, doing all kinds of movements and stuff, like the energy will start moving. You know, sometimes I'll do like Reiki on myself and just kind of like sense that energy of like moving the energy and visualizing light, you know, moving that energy in and out of my body and maybe reconnecting it to the whole of who I truly am. But dance and the movement actually moves that energy too. And it's like, it's like this release, right? This catharsis of just letting go of whatever energy is moving, right? That energy and motion, that emotion, right? So, right. So that's basically, what was I talking about? Finishing the points. Oh, it's 5 points. So it's the process of letting go. Welcome. Welcome. I see a lot of new faces. Dream, you must have shared this. Hello, welcome to my channel. So let's talk about the last point. So transcending the ego. So part of like the creative journey is artists learn to let go of our egos because we're tapping into a transcendent state of being, right? We're embracing the process of growth and evolution, which allows us to surrender to our own innate spiritual lessons, right? So a reminder that true fulfillment is found not in the perfection, but in the continuous journey of our self-discovery and improvement, right? Like this whole journey is all about know thyself, right? And ourselves are like infinite. Like this whole like human fleshly suit is just one piece of who we are, right? And so when you're on this journey, it's always going to be ever expanding. You're always going to be growing. You're always going to be learning more. Like one of my good friends, she's also a spiritual teacher on here. And she was sharing, like, she's what, like 57 or 58? And at the age of like 56, she started getting into like fluid art. And then she started getting into filmmaking and like woodworking at the age of 56 and 57. Like, you're never too old. Like, you're always going to like be growing and expanding. And then she was like, girl, I started talking to like the animals. The animals start speaking to me and start telling me certain things. I was like, girl, you tapped into some new stuff, like some new heightened, you know, levels of awareness, right? Because we're all connected, right? And there's always different like levels and expansions on this journey, right? And so your creativity allows you to transcend the ego and not only foster a sense of humility, but it helps you to tap into like even more stages of your growth, more stages of your spiritual expansion and growth, right? And then the last piece I wanted to bring to mind is building bridges and fostering unity. So the arts have the unique ability to bring this sense of unity together, this togetherness, right? We have the unique ability to transcend cultural, linguistic, and societal barriers through the power of creativity, right? So performances, exhibitions become spaces where diverse individuals can come together, united by a shared appreciation for creativity. So this sense of unity becomes a spiritual experience, reinforcing the interconnectedness of us all, right? So that's and this brings to mind, I went to this dance exhibit, I don't know, sometime last year, I can't remember. in the fall of last year. And it was this beautiful exhibition where these like 4 choreographers and dancers, right, it's definitely universal. And it was this beautiful dance of these different choreographers, and they were telling their different stories. Like this one lady, she was from, I can't remember. It was, she wasn't Hawaiian. It was like not Eastern Indian. I can't remember. It's like a Kahuna tribe or something like that. And she was like telling the story of her ancestors through the dance, right? And transmitting like so much wisdom. And I was like crying at her performance and her choreography, because she was just like, so much was like emitted through the dance. Like, and they weren't even like speaking. It was just like the movements of the dance, and me witnessing it like opened up and unlocked some stuff in me. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling that, like I'm integrating some new stuff there. Like, so there's so much power and like connectedness. Like, she was from a whole different tribe, a whole different history, a whole different ancestry, but because we're all connected and we're all divine, like I was receiving transmissions from like what her ancestors was going through and like traversing and transmitting. And so there's so much wisdom and knowledge that we can grok from each other when we tap into the power of creativity and we start telling our stories, we start sharing our stories, we start sharing our own process. Or even just, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to share it, like just tapping into your creativity on a personal level is just so enriching in that of itself. Now, if you feel called to share it, I'm just sharing, like, for us creatives out here, there's so much power and healing in what you do, right? Because it's like, if you don't own the fact that you're a healer, being a creative being, an entity, like the fact that you're a divine, like incarnate in this life, in this fleshly suit, means that you're a creator being, right? So that of itself is a creator being, right? But the added element of tapping into the performing and the fine arts, tapping into different stages of creativity, like herbalism is creativity. I know some sisters and brothers who tapped in, like I remember back when I was like 18 and I got really into like herbalism and the power of like, you know, just cleansing the body and stuff like that. For some reason, my higher self wanted me to start getting into like a lot of herbs and stuff like that and utilizing the power of herbs. And I used to listen to this brother on Blog Talk Radio back in the day when I was in college, and he used to just be telling some stuff and like how he would mix these different herbs, but it created so much like healing and well-being in the people who would take his herbs, right? He was like a master herbalist. That's creativity, right? So your creativity can like extend in so many different ways, right? But tapping into that like opens up so many doors while we're on the planet. Like, we came here for the human journey, so why not make it fun and more like enriching, right? And that's what I think the power of the arts does. So this is sort of like just a encouraging note for my creatives out there. Everyone's creative basically, but for those who are pursuing performing and fine arts and wanting to share that on a deeper level, right? This is like your permission slip or your encouraging video to let you know that you're here to be a creator and be a healer. Like, the arts is a healing entity, is a healing modality, right? And tapping into the arts, you know, opens up all these other doors, right? And so that's really the gist of what I wanted to share about why you should start being more creative in your own life and to help you along in your own spiritual journey. So as I am, feel free to drop any questions or any comments in the chat below. Thank you, Michael. I see what's the code. Welcome. Let me see. And yep, definitely be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling what I'm sharing. Welcome, Dreamwise. Welcome, everyone. So if you have any questions, or for the whole month of November, Monday through Friday, I'm coming live at 6 p.m. sharing a different topic on this whole series that I called The Journey Within, Embracing Our True Selves. And so I'm just going to be bringing a topic every day, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. And also offering some insights or coaching for those of you who have any questions in regards to the topic or anything you want like deeper insights on. So feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat. If not, I will, I'll just stay on for a minute and just do a recap of what we talked about. What's the challenge of going live every day? The challenge. What do you mean by that question? What do you mean? You mean like on a personal level, or like the name of the challenge? For me, for some reason I just felt like divinely called to come live because I kind of be MIA on my channel sometimes because I be in my own other creative bubble. But the purpose, personal. Oh, right. So the personal, okay. So for me, it's one, visibility. Something that I feel like my higher self has been urging me to do is step more into the powerful role of being a spiritual teacher to those who are on the simplistic path. And for me, I've received this call since I was like 18, right? Which was the whole, like when I received the whole download of Divine Earth School, that's what it came to me as. And so this whole personal challenge is for me to become more visible and share the things that have been working for me on my journey, also to grow more as an individual, in my own spiritual journey. So the more you teach, and you know this, the more you teach, the more you embody as well. So that's really the personal challenge for why I'm doing this, but also just to disseminate more of my own information to those who find it valuable, really. So that's really the challenge. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Send me an email. Let me see. Send me an email at Rachael at Divine Earth School. Let me see. But Rachael is spelled R-A-C-H. I'll just type it in the chat. Actually, let me do it here. It's faster. Rachael at divineearthschool.com. Just send me an email, Michael, and let me know, like, what's your flavor. I met this other brother at the park the other day. I was out, like, just enjoying nature and stuff, and this dude was, like, serenading the whole lake, and he was just singing, like, with his guitar and stuff, and I was like, I have to meet him. So I'm definitely open for collabs with other like-minded divine beings, right? So we can create some more healing music in this world. I definitely think that's definitely needed, especially in our modern day society with a lot of of the toxic messages that are out there. I think we definitely need more healing artists out here for sure. So definitely send me an email, or, like, you know, let me know your socials and stuff, and we can link up or whatever. So if there's no more questions, thank you for showing up at, you know, let me see. I was going to do a recap, but I really don't feel like it. Don't feel like it. So that's all I wanted to share. And thank you for, you know, showing up and asking your questions and giving feedback and all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Much love to you all. And, you know, as always, flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, because you are divine. You are a divine being, and your soul knows exactly what you've come to explore and experience while on this planet. So remember, what you conceive is what you'll receive. What you expect is what you'll get. And however you feel is what will become real for you. So vibrate higher, and I will chat with you guys Monday. See you next time. Peace.